Well, hello and welcome to this Make It in Marketing YouTube video. This is on copywriting. My name is Zach Greaves. I'm the founder of Artus Digital Marketing. We're a copywriting and content agency based in Harrogate, just down the road from you in Leeds. And this video is just designed to give you a bit of an insight into our industry, whether you're a first-year student and looking at exploring options for your career, or actually third year or further and wanting to explore what industry you want to pursue. So just to give you a flavour about what we're about, well, I'd like to introduce you to my colleagues. We have Olivia and Rachel here. Now, Rachel joined me on this call last year even. And so since then, Olivia has joined the team, and she was on this call at this time last year, so February 2021. So it just goes to show there are opportunities out there if you only take them. We have a wider team of people as well. I'll just show our website. So as I say, I'm the founder, started the business in 2018. Harriet then joined the team later that same year, and followed by Rachel. And then, as I say, we have Francesca, who's a freelance copywriter from Leeds Beckett. Olivia, as we've just discussed, she's full-time now. And Gideon comes with over 30 years experience in PR and copywriting. So that's just about as long as I've been alive, which is, to have him on the team is a real credit. But all of the team are fantastic individuals, and I'm very lucky to have them on the team. So as for my career and what got us here, I suppose, as a business, I pursued an English literature degree. Unfortunately, it wasn't at Leeds Beckett. Of course, if I was doing my degree now, I'd do it no place else. But I was actually at York St John University, and I studied English literature. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my degree, but I had various workplace placements in newspapers, local newspapers. Didn't really get a flavour that that's what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something creative. So fast forward a few years, I did a marketing role, marketing and sales. Then I went into hospitality. And then finally, I realised where my true passion lay, and I pursued a freelance copywriter opportunity. And I realised that's what I really wanted to do. So I started Artus in April 2018. And since then, as we've just discussed, the business has grown, our offering has grown, but we've always stuck to copywriting and content creation. That's been our real focus from the beginning, and an emphasis on quality. So our core sort of services, they are copywriting, so all aspects of that, website copy, social media, blog writing, anything else, be it emails or even leaflets. We also cover reputation management, so that helps businesses get 5-star Google reviews. And then general consultancy, we're always happy to help businesses at whatever stage they are at. And then our clients, well, we'll talk about some of our clients in further detail a little bit later on, but we cover all industries, so we're not industry specific at all. So for instance, we work with an engineering firm, that's at one end of the spectrum, and then we've got a dating app for people with HIV, quite niche. And then we've got professional services on board too. So we cover recruitment, accountancy, whatever you like, really. And there's lots of challenges within that, but it's good fun and it keeps it varied. So, and then in terms of our values, well, we did some work on these a few months ago, really. And they are very simply to provide an efficient, responsive and personalized service to use our skills and knowledge to guarantee high quality results, understand the heart of your business and reflect its unique story, produce tailored, creative and engaging content. And our promise is to enhance your credibility, celebrate your individuality, engage your audience and drive your success. So hopefully that gives you a bit of a flavor of who we are as a business, what we're about and what we're looking to achieve for our clients. So that's enough of me talking for now, but I'd perhaps like to hand over to a couple of my colleagues now. So first of all, we'll go to Rachel. And Rachel, perhaps you could give us a flavour of your career, your journey to date, and what your daily work at Artus consists of. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, Zach. Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel. I started my career with a BA and an MA in English. I did my BA down in London, came back up to York, where I'm based, to complete my MA at University of York. I then spent 7 years working in heritage. I started as an art gallery guide, progressed into human resources, and then spent 4 years in the marketing department, including looking after the website and social media for several museums and galleries. Then I had a bit of a career change. I went into teaching English as a foreign language, which I really loved. Spent some time in France and worked for a number of schools in the UK. Then lockdown came. Unfortunately, not a great time for EFL teaching. So I was able to pick up a bit of copywriting work from home. And that continued. So I'm now a part-time copywriter. I'm also a fiction writer, a novelist. A novel came out last year. I'm working on my second one. In terms of copywriting for artists, it's different every single day. We work with a wide variety of companies. I tend to work on blogs and articles for companies, and I also do proofreading and editing for a publisher. And I had such a great experience with Marketing Marketing last year as a mentor that I'm now doing another mentoring scheme this year as well, just to support students that are interested in marketing. Over to Olivia.
Hello, thank you, Rachel. It's nice to speak to you all. So I graduated in 2021 from Leeds Beckett. I got a first class English literature degree. So I took part in the Make It in Marketing programme, which I'll come back to a little bit later on and speak about it in a little bit more detail. But my daily work here, I started as a freelancer originally, writing blogs, writing website copy, and doing social media content for a really varied range of clients. And then in October last year, I started working full time. So yeah, really enjoying it. Same sort of thing, writing blogs, but just on a wider scale. So yeah, I'm loving it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much both for introducing yourselves. Sorry for any feedback that might have appeared on the call there, but we should have dealt with that now. So yes, two very capable copywriters there, and you know, there's more to them than meets the eye too, as Rachel says, with her novel writing. And Olivia, you didn't mention your blog and all of your talents there, but
yeah,
you know,
we'll get there. I'm going to
we will get there.
Make it in marketing.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Yeah, perfect. Well, thanks both for introducing yourselves. So moving on to, I suppose copywriting really is all about telling stories. And that's what we do. We call ourselves digital storytellers at Artus. And so, you know, I suppose you wouldn't have thought it would be too relevant to business, but Rachel's here now to unpack that and tell us what that relevance of storytelling is to business. So back over to you, Rachel.
Thank you, Zach. Yeah, so when we talk about storytelling, what comes to mind tends to be being at school, maybe being with parents or grandparents, having those fairy tales and those tales of adventure and heroes. But actually the kind of concept of storytelling is really relevant to business. And it's one of the exciting things about copywriting, that you get to be a storyteller. You're storytelling for these businesses, and kind of making the stories come alive in written content online. So the whole kind of point of storytelling, why we tell stories to one another, is to take abstract concepts and to make them relatable, to make them engaging. It's something that comes across in all cultures, all languages. It's kind of in our nature to want to tell stories, and for businesses that can be a really powerful tool for their marketing. So when we think about storytelling, it's really important that we're thinking about the language. We want it clear, we want it concise, we want it appropriate for what we're trying to achieve with that. In business, it's got lots of benefits if you get your storytelling right. So it's a way to build trust with a target audience. You tell a story in a right way and they feel a connection with that business. It's about conversation. You're not wanting to just tell the story, but you're wanting a response. Particularly if there's an emotional response, the audience can invest themselves, and again, that helps build trust in a relationship. And then they're more likely to take action. So for businesses, what you want to come out of your storytelling is for that target audience to do something, to contact you, to click on a website, to buy a product. So storytelling is might seem like child's play, but it's really powerful, and it's what copywriting is all about. So if we think about the story structure, very basically, very traditionally, you'd have your character or your hero. They always have some kind of conflict, and they go on a journey to try and overcome this conflict. And then you have your ending, your resolution, what happens to them. So if we keep that structure in mind, we can use it in all sorts of ways, from website copy and blogs to social media content, to tell businesses stories, to tell information and ideas about what they do, why they do it well, and why an audience should be interested. So you're looking to not only entertain a target audience, but to educate them as well. You could use facts, visuals, videos, very popular. Formatting is really crucial. So it's not just the story in terms of content, but it's how you present it is really important. So kind of when we're doing copywriting, there's some key stages that we always keep in mind. So the first one is predominantly knowing the audience. Especially as artists, we spend a lot of time getting to know our clients so that we can really tap into that audience that they want to connect with. Then it's about defining the content. What do we need to include? What are the most important factors in our storytelling? Then there needs to be a CTA, a call to action. So that's when the audience are prompted to do something after reading the blog or the Twitter post, whatever it might be. As I mentioned, structure is really crucial. That's important in the key stage. And then just writing it, knowing how to format something appropriately for the medium and for the audience. Editing, always important. Never rely on your first draft. So it's always a good skill for copywriters to do some editing. And then distribution. So when we talk about digital copywriting, this can come in multiple forms. The great thing is that you can recycle that content. Again, that's a great boost for businesses, that they can keep telling the story again and again in different ways. So when it comes to websites in particular, we always encourage businesses to think of their website as kind of their shop front. So when somebody comes into their shop or their business and talks to a member of staff, that's the exact same relationship you want to build when somebody comes to your website. And increasingly, it's likely to be the website that they come to before coming to your shop or your business in person. So you're looking to engage with the target audience, you're looking to build that trust, you're looking to speak their language through your website copy. Always helps to think about what your target audience need to know, what their questions might be. And again, using your website to focus on those questions. We always talk about quality over quantity. Both need really careful consideration, but you need to make sure that every word on that website is going to have an impact for the business you're writing for. And you just need to keep it really focused on the audience. As copywriters, we're often keeping in mind a lot of the technical aspects. So things like search engine optimization is really important when it comes to digital copywriting, also known as SEO. There are 3.5 billion searches on Google every day, and only 75% of users go beyond that first page. So if a business isn't on that first page, they're going to lose a lot of customers or potential target audience members. So as copywriters, we really work on the SEO of websites to try and make sure that those Google rankings are as good as they can be. And it's not just about keywords. Google is really sophisticated now, and it's always updating and changing. One of the key things they're interested in when they're rating websites is something called EAT, E-A-T. So it's the expertise, the authority, and the trustworthiness of the source, the website. So when we're writing, we're always keeping that in mind. How can we show that this business knows what they're talking about, is worth an audience coming to visit the website, coming to find out more? We use a lot of formatting conventions. It's really important. Internal and external links, again, really good for getting those target audiences, improving those rankings. And evidencing the business's success, making use of those customer testimonials, that feedback, to really make the copy valuable, make it unique, to tell that business's story in a way that's going to be effective and positive for getting them engaged with their target audience. Zach, I think you're going to talk a bit about blogs and how that helps as well.
Certainly, thank you very much, Rachel. That was a really useful insight and introduction to storytelling as a medium for business, and in particular for website copy, and how that conveys stories to people if it's done in the right way. A quote came into my head when you were saying that, Rachel. It's one of my favorite quotes about well, it's not even about copywriting, but I think it's very relevant to what we do. It's actually from the late Nelson Mandela. And it's, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. But if you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. So I think that's what all of this is about, really. Every aspect of storytelling for business, you want it to resonate with your target audience. And you do that by conveying stories that mean something to them, that they have a vested interest in, or the copy answers their questions. So if you do that, you are talking directly to your target customers, which is an incredibly valuable thing. And we talk a lot about SEO, structuring things, but ultimately, you know, if it's not readable, if it doesn't resonate with the person, what's the point? So yes, we do incorporate all of the technical elements into our copy. We've got to do that. Because we want it to be discovered, but we do write for people ultimately rather than robots. So into blogs then. So why would you write a blog as a business? Well, there's lots of reasons. It's a very versatile medium. That's the first thing to consider, I suppose. And it keeps your website very fresh too. That's a really positive thing. We'll go into some of the finer details of that shortly, but here's a few stats for you. So 80% of company decision makers want articles rather than ads to help them make a decision. 70% of users prefer getting to know a company through articles versus ads. And 60% of users credit company created content for improving their purchase decision. So we're thinking about top funnel stuff here, rather than being forced in front of something in the medium of an ad, which of course can build traffic. But if we think about capturing that wider pool of people and nurturing them down that journey, that's the way that you will get a customer that will come back, hopefully time after time, and be a really valuable to that business. So companies that want to improve their online presence and earn more revenue should invest in content marketing, including blogs that attract, as I've just said, top and middle of the funnel users. Though they may not make a purchase straight away, they have the potential to become regular customers and clients. Now, from a ranking perspective, Google loves fresh content. So you may have your website copy, and realistically, you might change that once every year, once every couple of years. That's certainly the minimum we would recommend. Really, is every year, because your business is constantly evolving, constantly changing. So you've got to keep telling that story. But really, if you're only going to change it once every 6 months, once every year or less, your ranking on Google will be damaged. So it's very beneficial, therefore, to keep that fresh content coming through. Google absolutely loves it. So if you're constantly adding fresh content to your website, it's very beneficial. Google laps it up and tries to rank you for the keywords that you put in that particular blog. It's also a great way to show that your finger is firmly on the pulse in your industry and that you're staying relevant, that you are demonstrating your expertise to people and showing yourself to be an industry leader. That's a really key aspect of blogging, and it's a great opportunity to do just that. It's a way to answer frequently asked questions too. So you might have an FAQ section on a website, and I'm sure that some of you have seen that. But blogs are an opportunity perhaps to unpick those FAQs a little bit more and dive into some further depth. And if you think about Google and how that operates, you always ask, well, you may not necessarily ask a question, but you can ask a question to Google, just like you'd ask a friend or a lecturer. And so if you put those into a blog and you have one of the most comprehensive answers on the web, then guess what? You are going to rank very highly for that particular search term. And then, as I've alluded to earlier, blog content can be repurposed and recycled. It's very valuable, not just as a static medium, but something to be used time and time again. So you may have content that's more relevant to a particular moment in time, but you can always share that as a reflective piece. You can repurpose it. So there's lots of ways that you can repurpose your blog content. Absolutely, distribute it. Rachel talked about the importance of distribution and the different means of doing so. So get it out on social media, put some paid spend behind it, perhaps in the form of an advert. And even, why not, print it off, put it in a physical copy in a brochure. But it's crucial that you remember that all copy on a website has to be completely unique. So not only from a plagiarism perspective, so we don't want to be sued by another business for stealing their ideas and their content, but Google also punishes websites that have duplicated copy. So if you've done lots of research using a particular source, you can fall into the trap of accidentally copying quotes directly. But we use paid software called Copyscape to help us highlight these different areas and avoid this. So that's a real key consideration, avoiding the use of duplicated copy. We can also use case studies. That's a valuable thing to do. So talking about client success that you've had, perhaps, and using copy in that way to demonstrate again how you've helped businesses to get from one point to another and telling that story. It's also important to think about how your blog is represented on your website. So, you know, having just a single block of text, that's quite, for me, it would be quite off-putting, I suppose. So having some visual elements to help you to tell the story, but also make it more visually appealing and engaging is important. There's lots of free image websites available, but sometimes paid imagery is required. So examples of high quality paid imagery sites include Adobe Stock, Shutterstock, and Envato Elements. But there are the likes of Pixabay and Pexels, which you may wish to choose for free imagery. So again, I think I've kind of rambled on a little bit there. So it's time to go over to another medium of storytelling through copy and content writing. And so it's over to Olivia to talk to us about social media content. Thanks, Liv.
Thank you, Zach. Yeah, so I'm sure a huge number of us all have social media, and we've all been sold to on social media before. So what we like to go for is a less is more approach, and that has been widely accepted across the field, across the digital marketing field. So for both content and accounts, we think that copy should focus on the quality and not the quantity of the posts, because we're sort of seeing a lot now on social media that the hard sell just isn't hitting the same way. It's not selling very well because people don't like to be sold to in such an intense way. So one of the really great things that we really focus on and have a look at is producing organic content that has a purpose. It's a purpose to educate, it's a purpose to communicate and sort of start a conversation with the people that are looking at our social media accounts. So that's across, for us and for our clients, that's across things like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. So all these things that we're all looking at all the time and we're seeing, we specialize in creating content that's really relevant to the specific target audiences for those clients and for us. So yeah, it's in order to have content, have posts that start a conversation and are consistent and adopt a tone of voice for a specific client. So the frequency of the posts, the tone of voice, similar themes, reflecting company brand and values are all things that come into social media content creation that we really pride ourselves on, and something that it's a bit of a skill, really, isn't it, to have a look at a business and sort of know that what they want to put out there and what they want to put out there to specific people. And I think that's something that we really like having a look at, really, and getting really stuck into. So we use things like Hootsuite as scheduling software and Promo Republic, allowing you to automate the content that you're putting out there and that's being delivered across all platforms. And then that can make sure as well that the posts are consistent across all platforms. So say, I don't know, you're a business and you're applying, you want to put things out there to other businesses. LinkedIn's going to be your one, isn't it, that you go for? So it's just really using those things and really learning from what's out there, really. So in terms of paid advertising is another massive thing that has to be had a look at, really. So we do create organic content for clients. So in terms of things like infographics and information intended to educate, but paid advertising is a really great way to, with call to actions, sending people over to the website, sending people to engage with the website and with your brand as well. So that's a massive part of the job and the area of social media content that we do have a look at. So I think that might be everything I would like to cover for social media, if that's okay.
Wonderful, of course. That's fabulous, Liv. Thank you very much for that introduction. Okay, so we thought we'd sort of talk a little bit about some of the industries we've worked in and how some of the things that we've been talking about today, how we've applied it to those businesses. So I guess part of the joy of the role of a copywriter or content creator is the exposure to different industries and knowledge. No day is ever the same, and it's a constant process of learning and discovery. After all, no matter what industry a business is in, every business needs to be able to articulate their message and tell their story effectively. So over the last, well, it's nearly 4 years now, as I say, and I can't quite believe that, but we've worked in a really wide range of businesses, and that's from sole traders to national companies. And we've even worked with clients in India and North America too. So we've got an international sort of range now of clients, which is really cool. And that's enabled by the likes of this. We're recording this meeting on Zoom, and it enables you to have that personal connection with people, even thousands and thousands of miles away. But just to give you a bit of a flavour of some of the businesses that we have worked with. So we've worked with accountants, solicitors, recruitment businesses. For some reason, we seem to be working with quite a few of those at the moment. And I think it's a competitive industry, and that's why people are realizing the need to differentiate themselves. Life coaches, charities, IT companies, builders, wallpaper businesses, interior designers, and then, as I said earlier, engineering companies and even apps, dating apps, for goodness sake. So really diverse. Lots to get our teeth into in all of those businesses, but it's about the individual company's approach. So we do our research when it comes to the respective industry, but really it's about the business and how they operate and how we can convert what their offering is to their target audience in a way that's jargon-free, that's relatable, and answers their questions. So over to Rachel, perhaps you'd like to tell us about some of the clients that you've recently worked with.
Absolutely. Well, as I mentioned previously, it's always varied. I'm quite lucky in that respect. We get to work with a lot of different businesses, and it's a good opportunity as a copywriter to kind of do that research and really think about what businesses are offering in terms of products and services and how to connect with their target audience. So some of the clients I've recently been working with, one's been a cosmetic treatments clinic, working on some blogs for those, a life and business coach, working on website and LinkedIn copy, a recruitment agency, a specialist printing firm. So it really can vary, and as well as the products you're writing about or the services, it's updates in the industry as well. So you often have to be quite on point with being able to find out and really get under the skin of certain industries and businesses to be able to make that content really relevant, and demonstrate that expertise, authority and trustworthiness in the copy that you're producing.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Rachel. Yeah, every day's a school day, isn't it, in our industry, certainly. And Olivia, would you like to talk a little bit about some of the clients you've worked with, and then perhaps go straight into your experience with Make It in Marketing?
Yeah, definitely. Just to echo what Rachel said there as well. I remember when I did Make It in Marketing and Rachel was my mentor. And at the time I was working just at a local pub behind the bar. And I said to Rachel, I love how varied the job is. I love that I speak to new people every day and I'm always interested in different stories. And then the day always flows in a different way every day. And Rachel said, you'll be perfect for this job then, because it's really varied. You're sort of dealing with a new person every few days, and you really have to get stuck into the research and get stuck into that brand themselves and what they stand for and what message and story they want to convey out there. So some of the clients that I have been working with recently, I'm currently writing 2 really long form blogs for a digital marketing company about artificial intelligence. So they've been really juicy to get stuck into and really get into the research and get writing that up. So that's been one. I have been doing social media content, like we spoke about before, for the dating website for people that are HIV positive. So not only is that something so niche, and so it's quite exciting to do a dating website really, and to write the copy for that, because it can be quite juicy and quite exciting. But then it's also something really interesting and really valuable, and it's really great to work for something that's so important and interesting really, for it representing the HIV positive community. So I've been working on website copy for a life coach, which again, it's been completely tailored to him. So we've had to go through his current website, have a look at what sorts of services he puts out there and what message and what approach he takes to life coaching. And then we really wanted to make it our responsibility to ensure that it's his voice we're putting out there, even though it's our writing. It can be from him but it's our expertise in copywriting that we're sort of putting onto his website there for him. So those are just a few that I'm currently having a look at, but I've worked on social media content for solicitors, blogs for solicitors, blogs for recruitment companies. So there's a whole varied range there to make every day fresh and new and exciting. So in terms of making it in marketing, so in 2020 to 2021, I was in my third year, and I wasn't 100% on where I wanted to go. I knew that I loved writing, and I was good at writing, and I was good at reading, and I didn't really know which road to go down. And then had a few emails through about the Make It in Marketing program, and a few of my friends were sort of signing up, and it sounded really great. You sort of got a varied view of marketing, and then you could decide which things were tailored to you. Now I found that when I sort of told people I really want to be a copywriter, I've done this course and I want to be a copywriter, and I feel like this sounds like the job for me. I had people asking me about, is it about fraud? Is it about copyright? Is it about, so you'll be explaining what you're doing. And essentially what we do is we tell stories for businesses, and it sounded perfect for me because it sort of channeled in what I liked to do, what I was good at doing, which was writing, but then with being really interested in businesses and getting stuck in and being current and relevant and being in the moment on social media and online, because we're in this age of digital where everything's online and we have to sort of move with it. And I think the young people of today are feeling like they have to move with the digital marketing movement type thing. So I carried on through the Make It in Marketing program, filled out the application process, and all over my application I'm saying I want to be assigned to a copywriter, please. And then I got assigned to Rachel, which was lovely. We had meetings every month for a few months, and it was very much not a job commitment. I was really honoured and happy to learn from Rachel and learn everything about the job, because it sounded perfect for me, and she really helped me out and really sent over loads of resources I could be having a look at, and sort of said, here's a little bit of work here's a client we're looking at Artus at the minute, see how you would approach it. And it turned out to be such a great experience for me looking back, to sort of I had a few stepping stones into the job, but I didn't really realise that was what I was doing. And then we got to a point where Rachel sort of referred me over to Zach and said, we've come to the end of the mentoring I think we were in about August, weren't we? And Rachel said, I'm really happy to refer you over to Zach for a freelance opportunity. It was just such a great bonus of the already existing mentoring that I had, that I already valued and was enjoying. So met with Zach and started having meetings with Zach, and it was all great, and started doing a bit of work for you here and there while I still had my part-time job at home, and was very much writing blogs. I had my own personal blog that I was writing at the same time. It was it's like a food blog, so I'm out there trying to get free food in around the northwest. So yeah, definitely moved on from my personal blog and was doing bits of blogs, bits of social media content for Artus on a freelance basis. And then by October, Zach took me on full time. So I'm really honoured to be part of the team full time. I'm really loving it. And like I've said previous, every day's varied. And I'm also taking part in a level 3 digital marketer course. So like equivalent to an A-level. So while I'm here, and not only am I learning from all the fantastic experience I'm getting and being around experts like Zach and Rachel in my working week, I'm also getting a qualification as well in digital marketing. So that's kind of a touch point for me now to I'm getting first-hand experience, but then I'm getting all the theory down as well. So really great things have come for me from Make It in Marketing. So can't thank them all enough.
Well, thank you, Olivia. And we're honoured to have you. May we say that, first of all. But if you notice some of the things that Olivia was talking about there, she took the opportunity in Make It in Marketing, as you are, I'm sure, if you're watching this video, and she's created her personal blog. She's grasped that opportunity when mentoring with Rachel with two hands. And then, it was her attitude and commitment and professionalism, which were really impressive to Rachel initially. But then to me, when I was faced with Olivia, and so I guess it just goes to show, I think that you have to be, putting the legwork in and really taking opportunities when they come to you. But not only that, looking out for them, actively seeking them yourself. And that's what we're going to be speaking about. Rachel and I are just going to speak a little bit about that now. So Rachel, I'm sorry I had to mute. There was a bit of feedback coming earlier, but perhaps you'd like to unmute and maybe kick us off there.
Yeah, certainly. So if there are people out there listening to and watching this thinking marketing or copywriting sounds like something I'd definitely like to try or to learn more about, there's opportunities online to find out more about it. Our website is a good place to start. Social media, of course, but more specifically social media for industry, for business. So we're talking about things like LinkedIn. Really great idea to set up a profile, even if you're not working, if you've never had a job, you're just a student, that's valuable already. So your LinkedIn setup, get your experience, whether it's you like doing sports, or you're really into travel, or like Olivia, you set up your own blog. Really great to have on your LinkedIn, and you can start learning about the industry, building your connections. And again, there's all sorts out there. We ourselves, artists, have got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all great to learn about copywriting, but to learn about brands as well. See what businesses are doing with their marketing at the moment. There are some really innovative, creative ideas out there, and the more you tap into those and find them, the more your own creativity will get sparked, and you'll have loads of ideas yourself. Zach, anything else you'd recommend?
No, perfect, Rachel. I think you've covered a lot there. I think it's just I'd say, look at whatever job you're applying to, just be mindful of having that professionalism in everything that you do, not just at the interview, but on your social media. Social media, a lot of businesses, when they are recruiting, they will look at your social media profiles. And, I think a sense check there is, would you let your grandma read your social media posts? And if not, perhaps you need to go through and delete some posts, or I think it's just being mindful about what you are putting out there into the world, and being aware of who could possibly read that, and being very professional at every turn, from email interaction with a business to on the phone. All of these touch points really make a difference when you're applying to a job now. It's not just a case of getting an interview. It's everything leading up to that. It's a very competitive job market, which means that you need to stand out. And standing out can be, as I say, having a LinkedIn profile set up. It might be creating your personal blog for an element of interest in your life. It might be taking up work experience. And actually, work experience isn't going to come to you. So it's a case of asking for it and talking to people that you might like to work with in the future. But also, I think it's not to get too hung up about what your career will look like in the future. I was quite frightened about that. Coming out of university, I didn't really know where I wanted to take my degree or how useful my degree would be. And that was English literature. So I was keeping the options open at that time. But I think it's being, doing something that you love and then exploring different avenues, going for work experience, finding out what you like about that job and what you don't like. There's no such thing as the perfect job, but if you can find something that you enjoy doing and suits your skills, I'm sure that it will tick a lot of boxes for you and be hopefully a rewarding career. So, well, that covers pretty much everything, but just to say, for the right student, we do have, we have a work placement opportunity, and that's, I say, a work placement opportunity. They are, I suppose, fairly constant. So we're happy to talk to you if you are interested in a work placement opportunity where you might be paired with two of the lovely ladies on this screen or another colleague. And then we do have a freelance copywriter opportunity too. So please, could you email if you are interested, hello@artusdigital.com, with a summary of why you'd think you'd be a good fit for the business. And perhaps if you could include a cover letter and CV and some examples of your writing too. And we'll just share our website. It's artusdigital.com. You should be able to see that at the top of your screen, ARTUS digital.com. And feel free to have a little browse through the website, look at the video on the About page. That will give you a bit more of an insight into what we're about. And well, I think that's everything. I hope that this has been beneficial to you all. Thank you to Rachel and Olivia for joining me, and always happy to answer any questions. This last year, there was a Q&A at the end. Unfortunately, we don't have the benefit of that, but if you are interested or have any questions about anything that we've discussed or have any questions about getting into the industry, always very happy to help. So please reach out again via the website at artusdigital.com. Thank you very much for watching, and thanks again to Olivia and Rachel and Mike at Make It in Marketing for the opportunity. Thank you very much.